Good Friday morning, and hope you're all preparing to get yourself ready for a nice weekend. I'm playing with my screen here, and I don't know why I'm seeing all this weird stuff, but I hope I'm on. Anyway, yesterday I hadn't intended to do another day on this subject, but excuse me, I did sort of leave us hanging yesterday in my exorcism story. And when I look back, I saw that I had titled yesterday's talk, I Can Only Exorcise Myself, which is absolutely true. But I didn't get to the part of the story where that made sense. So a couple people have pointed that out. So I'm going to finish off that subject, and this is from Low Magic. It's all in your head. Just have no idea how big your head is. And it's a story of my exorcism of a very old Catholic girls' school. And it's sort of an unusual evocation of the demon, if you will, the spirit, that they at least believed was responsible for a series of incredible, hideous string of misfortunes. Anyway, what do I mean by you can only exorcise yourself? I sort of point that out in what I'm about to read to you today. Just to review, I had more or less, my technique was to sort of join together, sweep together all of the different sources of the misfortunes that had afflicted the school, the faculty, and the students for quite a long period of time, into like one master demon. It was like I was putting little transformer toys together into a big transformer thing, and then give that master demon a name where I could identify it and create its sigil, and instead of trying to tackle all the little demons responsible, I just wrap them up into one big demon, and using the technique of Solomonic magic, conjure it into a triangle and either redirect it, give it new marching orders, or annihilate it. So I started the evocation at my home, in my office. I set up a Goetic temple set up in my office, and I evoked the spirit into the triangle then and there, and it appeared, and I give the details of how it appeared. As a magpie, as a giant Norwegian magpie, and once I had successfully evoked it into a triangle, I put the operation on hold, and I wrapped myself in the silk cord that I used as my circle, and put the evocation on hold till I could get to the school, and then restart it up again. And in a process I described yesterday of banishing, purifying, banishing every room and sealing off every room in the school until I got it, until there was one room left, and that's where I reset up my conjuration and continued with the evocation in the vice principal's office. Now, what I didn't mention yesterday, or I didn't read that part of the narrative, there was only one other person in the entire school that night, and before the Mother Superior left, she told us that the only other person in the building would be the IT man, Larry, who was supposedly doing backup and things that took a lot of time in those days. And she introduced us. She called him into her office and introduced us and said, we'll be doing work there and going around. In other words, she warned the IT man that strange things are going to be happening with my brother, the Reiki guy, and me, the magician guy. And he was very curious and looked very nervous, and because he's the only one in that school all night alone, you know. But anyway, but I digress. Everything being in order in the vice principal's room, and I was crazy by then, doing all of those, how many repeated banishings I did and sealing off, and so I was pretty crazy and pretty much hallucinating. Everything being in order, I aimed my wand at the triangle and commanded as before, slug shug, come. Slug Slug appeared immediately, quietly, peacefully, as if only a moment had passed since our last encounter. A large, handsome Norwegian magpie perched pleasantly upon his yellow post-it note. I marveled at how normal it all seemed. I was almost happy to see him, grateful for his exotic and dangerous companionship amid this cowed and colorless hell of a Catholic school. His presence made the evening come suddenly alive and interesting. Like a fool, I initiated a conversation. Why do you torment these people? I asked. Is it evil for a crow to feast upon the eyes of a dangling knight? Now, my brain just doesn't work like that. Okay, that was right out of the blue. Okay, that answer was right out of the blue. Is it evil for the crow to feast upon the eyes of a dangling knight? And it brought to mind the crows that pecked at the corpses of the knights of the Round Table that were hanging from trees. Okay. Right now, as I'm writing these words, they appear on the page to be melodramatic and corny, like something pulled from a demonic fortune cookie. At the time, however, they sounded anything but corny. In fact, Slug Slug's response took my breath away. In my fevered brain, and I was pretty wild by all those hours of banishings, in my fevered brain, the illusion was unmistakable. The demon was describing the doom of the luckless knights of the Round Table who failed in their quest for the Holy Grail. They were hung from trees like obscene fruit, and their eyes were plucked out and eaten by crows. I didn't answer. At least, I didn't make a conscious effort to answer. I stood accused of my own tidy spiritual worldview, paralyzed by the paradoxes of my smug philosophy. Indeed, who was I to presume to understand and judge the righteousness or the wrongness of the tragedies of Our Lady of Sorrows? Were not little goods and little evils both parts of the great G goodness of the supreme consciousness? Had I plumbed the depths of the souls of these people? Had I weighed their infinitely complex karmas, their inherited destinies, and found some profound miscarriage of cosmic justice that only Lon Milo DuQuette could put right? Did I think I was some knight in shining armor galloping down the freeway to save the fair nuns and children? Was my clarity of vision so superior that I could, with ego-driven impunity, tamper with the momentum of life and death of hundreds of people I never met? Indeed, is it evil for the crow to feast upon the eyes of a dangling knight? Why was I here? What really was my motive for doing this? Why was I standing here with my almond wand and my holy water and my magic toys and my purple yarmulke and my pretty bishop's stole? Did I look cool? Did I think all of this was going to look impressive in my magical diary? Maybe I'd even write a book about this someday. These thoughts triggered in my exhausted brain a chain reaction of even more crippling doubts and self-recriminations, all as the great bird grew more noble and stately as it stared silently at me from within the triangle of my magical mind's eye. But then I realized that he wasn't being silent, and that the accusatory voice I was hearing was that of the demon and not my own inner soliloquy. It was the damned magpie that tormented me with these thoughts, these ideas, these doubts. I had to hand it to Slug. This was classic demonic behavior, and I had fallen for it hard. My concentration had been severely broken, and as soon as I realized what was going on, Slug started to flap his wings and lift himself into the air. I brandished my wand toward the triangle as if I were snapping a whip. Back down, you son of a bitch. Every ounce of will flowed through my extended arm and out the barrel of my wand. It took everything I had to bring the great bird down upon the triangle. The moment his talons touched down, I heard a noise outside in the hallway. Out of the corner of my right eye, I saw the door to the staff area suddenly swing open. "Oh, sorry." It was Larry, the IT man. It was all he could say. Faced with a smoky candlelit room, to find a red-faced wizard in a yarmulke and a bishop's stole aiming a stick at a tiny yellow post-it note. I did not move, neither did I take my eyes off the triangle. With the same strange voice that I called forth slug slug, I snarled at poor Larry through gritted teeth. You're going to have to leave, Larry. Larry left. That did it. No more talking to Slug Slug. I didn't care anymore why I was doing this. I didn't care whether or not I was here because of my ego or my insecurities or my karma or my duty or my goddamn spiritual quest. Screw my motives. Screw good and evil. I was here doing what I was doing because the universe had conspired to put me in this place. That was enough. The momentum of my life put me here, and I wasn't going to leave until the job was finished. There would be no more attempts to redeem this spirit. I would not fart around trying to cajole, torture, banish, exile, or otherwise attempt to reprogram this monster into an angel of light. I was insanely angry, filled with a rage that exploded from my heart and arm and through the death ray gun of my wand. I would not abide its existence for 1 second longer. I took fiendish delight in spitting out the most hideous curse in my arsenal of Solomonic curses. Christios cornfa peripsal ama eos. Let the company of heaven curse thee. Christios roll grey tof glow oive omnis grill eels. Let the sun, moon, and all the stars curse thee. Christios lasiftia od tofglo pyre peripsal ama eos, pujo ialperj dies a pila od pujo mir adfat. Let the light and all the holy ones of heaven curse thee into the burning flame that liveth forever and unto the torment unspeakable. Slug Slug dissolved without a squawk. I felt as though my body was set in stone, my arm and wand still leveled at an empty desk. Oddly enough, I did not feel triumphant or even relieved. My overall feeling was that of embarrassment over the fact that I had allowed the spirit to toy with me, and that I had not simply annihilated it immediately upon conjuration. I composed myself for a moment or two, then performed the 7-part banishing procedure and sealed the vice principal's office. I took the post-it note triangle with the departed spirit's seal into Sister Martha's bathroom, burned it, and flushed the ashes down the toilet. I packed my gear back into the briefcase and joined my brother Mark, who was waiting for me in the faculty lounge. So that finished the exorcism. There's a post-mortem to the whole adventure. But for that, you can read it in low magic. If you don't have low magic, please do us a favor. Until tomorrow and Saturday morning cartoons, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.